So you want to make a Google Doc. Opening and using the Google Docs application from your Gmail. In creating these slides, I use the ADDIE learning design process, and the first step is analysis. So the most important phase of any instruction is to know who and what you are teaching. In my first semester of grad school, my partner had no idea how to use G Suite, reducing our ability to collaborate to meeting in person only. It's hard to gauge what skills people may have with G Suite in a public library setting, but the number of patrons signing up for the workshop could give an indication of who needs it. In a public school setting, the focus is using technology in the classroom. Pen and paper are being phased out very slowly. In my classroom, a paper crisis forced me to rethink how I assign work and assess learning. Google Docs became our way to journal, a component of the ELA extended curriculum. The next step is design. And in designing these slides, I used Gagne's 9 events of instruction to inform my lesson plan. Storyboards are slides developed for presentation. In development, I was choosing the content and creating the slides. The implementation phase, in person, I would be moving constantly around the classroom. It would be less lecture and more dialogue. And a great way to give this lesson is with a smartboard and actually go through the process with learners, if a smartboard is available. The last step is evaluation, and instead of a test, the real test would be whether or not students can sign out and sign back in again. This means they can access their information again outside of class. This is a poster I designed for the workshop. I actually envisioned it as being part of a series to use the major components of G Suite, including Drive, Docs, Slides, Sheet, and Calendar. I would also encourage people who don't have an email account to arrive early so I can help them set up the account for free. So let's get started. Google's G Suite. What do you know about G Suite and Google Docs? How do you think this program will benefit you? Have you ever used a program like MS Word? In this session, you will use your email to open a G Suite account. Access Google Docs in your G Suite account. Learn the basics of navigating the Google Docs word processing app. Learn how to recover your document if you accidentally erase your pages. Be able to share your document with others to promote collaboration. Log out of G Suite, then log back in and access your new document in Google Drive. What is Google Drive? Gmail is the email you had or signed up for before this class. It usually ends with @gmail.com. Companies can open accounts to use Gmail and customize their addresses. Google Drive is cloud storage that comes with your Gmail account. Cloud storage is when information is stored on Google servers, which are basically enormous data drives. It can save the need for flash drives or external hard drives. It can also be useful if you're not sure about the integrity of your personal computer. Professional use. G Suite is becoming an industry standard. Many companies use Gmail with their own domain name. Employers expect their employees to know this system or learn it quickly after being hired. G Suite allows users to share their documents with other users. Multiple users can view or even edit pages. This allows for a collaborative work process, and it's great for working with others over distance and time. It allows the user to add pictures and video to their online documents. So getting started. You can access Google from any web browser by typing www.google.com in the search bar. When you get there, you will see the Google logo, or perhaps a Google Doodle. The upper right hand of your screen will look like this. Click on Sign In and enter your username and password. Your screen should then have something that looks kind of like this. The Google Apps icon. Look for the tic-tac-toe board between the word Images and the little bell. It looks just like this. I'm going to keep calling it the tic-tac-toe board, and we will be seeing it again. When you click on the icon, it will look like this. You can see the Drive icon on the top row, third position from the left. This is actually not set. These application icons can move around. It just happens to be there at this time. We will come back to that in just a minute. Click on the blue icon on the second row, first position, that says Docs. When you do, you'll get something that looks like this. Google Docs has templates that you can use for different types of reports. In most cases, you will choose the blank document to create a new page. Please click on it now. The Google Docs page. Right, you're going to get something that looks like this. This is what you see when you open a Google Docs page. If you've ever used Microsoft Word, this should be pretty easy stuff. Docs does have a few features that Word does not have, such as version history and share, which we will go over soon. The first thing you should do is give your document a title. In the upper left-hand corner, click Untitled Document. It looks like this. Now you can type in the name of your doc. This is how the document will show up in your drive. And now we type. The best way to learn Google Docs is to play with Google Docs. Here are some of the changes you can make. Font, font size, bold, italics, underline, and strike through. Insert hyperlinks for websites and comments. Justification, numbers and bullets. I will show you a map of the toolbar on the next slide. And don't worry about saving your work. Google Docs saves every few seconds. If you want to save or print, click on File for a menu. Okay, so we have so you want to make a Google Docs page. The first thing you'll notice is that you can change the font. And next would be the size of the font that you want. Then you can choose whether or not your font is bold, italics, underline, or change the color of the text. If you need to add a hyperlink, you may, or you can add a comment to somebody else's work if you're editing. Choose whether or not your text is going to start at the left, be centered, or start over at the right. You can add bullets and numbering. These are just the most popular tools for word processing. Google Docs has a wide range of features. Don't be afraid to get in there and play with it. Now I'd like for you to take 5 minutes and write something on your Google Doc. You should also use some of the features I've highlighted here to change the way your document looks. Remember, Google Docs will save your work as you go. When you see this appear on your screen, your work is safe. Version history. If you change your mind about something you have written or accidentally delete something, the undo and redo buttons are your friends. But if you leave the page and come back, these arrows won't work. Version history lets you go back to an earlier version of your work and bring it back. Remember, though, that it will completely erase all the work you've done since that session, but luckily for you, there will be a saved version of that as well. Sharing your document. You can share your documents in G Suite by hitting the blue Share button in the upper right corner. Looks kind of like this. Once you click the Share button, you'll get a box that looks like this. To share your document with someone, just enter their email address. You can let them see it, comment on it, or give them editing rights. If you need to make the page visible to many people, you can click Get Shareable Link and let others access your page. So how are we doing now? Let's see what we remember. It's time for a test. Let's see if you can go back to your Google Doc later. In the upper right corner, click on the colored letter of your first name, or the first name of the account. Now click Sign Out. This will take you back to the main Google page. We will now use the same steps you used earlier to sign back into your G Suite account. Use the Sign In button and sign back into your account, giving your username or email and password. Click on your tic-tac-toe board to bring up the G Suite apps. This time, instead of clicking on Docs, you're going to click on Drive. You will see your new document at the top. Google Drive will arrange your documents by the most recent or alphabetically. You can actually choose. You can also see the owner and the last time the document was modified. Click on the name of the document and reopen your document. Congratulations on your new G Suite account. So for a quick review, all G Suite applications are accessed through Google Drive. From any browser, go to www.google.com to access your drive. You do not have to have a Gmail account to use Google Drive, but it helps. G Suite applications like Google Drive allow you to collaborate with people over long distances. And remember, the undo button is your friend, but if it doesn't work, version history has your back. And here are my resources. Thank you so much for watching my presentation on Google Docs.